Hey, and welcome to another news hack with me, Spence. This is the Prosperous Musician, bringing you the juiciest music news from this week. And this is the week ending December the 4th, 2020. So what have we got this week? Actually, just looking through the news, it's actually pretty slow, really. There's not a lot going on, to be honest with you. But so we talked recently about Taylor Swift, the interesting developments going on there, because she's basically re-recording all of her own old songs, because her masters have been sold, or actually they've been sold twice now by this Scooter Braun character, which sounds a bit of a piece of work, but he's basically got them now. So it means that he basically owns them and he can do what he likes with them. Now Taylor Swift is re-recording her songs, so then she owns the masters. So remember, we talked about masters before being the all-important thing. The record label generally will own the masters because they will have put the money up for them, whereas the artist can then will get some money from them once the record company's recouped all their money. But it also means that the artist doesn't really have that much control over what happens to the masters in terms of synchronization. So if, for example, Scooter Braun suddenly said, I want to synchronize Taylor Swift's music with a certain film that she doesn't actually believe in, or a product, for example, that she doesn't believe in or endorse, she can't really do anything about it because he owns it. This way she re-records the songs, and it's unclear to me as to whether she's going to re-record them exactly the same as they were, or a slightly different production style. That is yet to be seen. But when she does do that, when she does own her masters and re-record the masters, then she can do what she likes with them within reason. She's still in a co-publishing agreement with Sony ATV, so they've also got to agree, but she's got a bit more power back, so that's why she's doing it, and she's got a big enough fan base to make that work, let's face it. So anyway, there's a bit of an update on that story, because she's been very busy in the studio. In fact, if you remember last week, we talked about the fact she wasn't actually at the AMAs because she was busy re-recording the stuff in the studio. So she's already previewed a re-recorded version of her long song Love Story, which is one of her early recordings, in an advert created by Ryan Reynolds. He's the movie star. His production company is called Maximum Effort. Now, they've produced an advert for the dating site Match.com, and of course that is a perfect example of how that would be a good fit. The song Love Story, Match.com, about relationships, perfect, right? And because I guess maybe she knows Ryan Reynolds, maybe they've got a friendship going on there, that then she can say, yeah, I would like my song to go on there. Of course, Ryan Reynolds is going to go, beautiful, because otherwise he would probably have to pay quite a lot of money to get that song, and he might still have to pay a lot of money to synchronize that song with the advert. Who knows what the deal is behind the scenes, but anyway, they're both getting something out of it. She gets to put her track to get it out there, previews, and get some money. He obviously gets a big name and a big track to attract the punters to Match.com. So this was announced yesterday on Twitter. She did. Swift announced. Okay, so my records are not done, my friend. But then Cindy Reynolds asked me if he could use a snippet for one for a LOL some commercial he wrote. So here's a sneak peek of Love Story. Working hard to get you to the music soon. Now, that's a terrible impression of Ryan Reynolds there. It's a terrible impression of Taylor Swift, but you get the drift. And she goes on to say, she announced last year she planned to re-record a masters of commercial exploitation, something she was believed to be contractually free to do from November 2020, so last month onwards. Scooter Braun's Iathica Holdings acquired all of Big Machine and its Taylor Swift masters for a sum believed to be around $330 million in June 2019. In December 2019, Swift confirmed that she was blocking sync uses of her classic hits because Scooter Braun owned the masters at the time. As writer-co-writer over hits alongside her publisher Sony ATV, Swift has the ultimate yay or nay over whether these tracks can be used by sync partners. Speaking in an interview on December 11th, she explained that her strategy was to create, re-record new masters that she would then clear for synchronization purposes, while continuing to refuse any TV movie advertising uses of her original recording. So there you go, she's got a lot of power there, and fair play to her that she's trying to get some power back. Now, if you're in that position, it's always a great idea if you can get some ownership or all of ownership of your masters. That was going to stand you in a lot of good, stand you in good stead later on. When you do become big and famous like Taylor Swift, then you'll own your own masters and you can do what you like with them. I hope that's going to be more like the case, where people who are coming up and rising up through the ranks, if you like, of being a musician, being a more popular musician, the more famous you get, or the more bigger your fan base, I should say, gets, then obviously having the control of your masters will make more financial sense, because then you have more control over it. But it's the time-old story, isn't it, of time and again we hear about musicians getting controlled by big deals. In one hand, it's great for their profile because they have a lot of money invested in them at the beginning, but on the backside of that, they're getting a lot of contractual wrangles, if you like, and it takes them a lot of time, money and effort to get out of them. So I guess the wisdom would be to not get in the first place, but to sort of somehow fund it in a different way. So maybe you're not beholden to two record labels, and they're very unfair to the artist contracts, and have something that's more empowering for the artist. I don't know what that is, but it's maybe more of angel investing, or sort of going more of a business route rather than going through record labels, then hiring or creating your own record label and then doing it that way. So there's some tips for you if you're in that position. And I just thought it was a bit of fun really as well. Moving swiftly on. See what I did there. December the 4th 2020, that's the day today, and apologies for this. Usually this is a live stream, and for some reason my equipment isn't not allowing me to do live streams today, so this is slightly pre-recorded, but it is going out on December the 4th. So on this day in 1962, so we're just having a look on what happened on this day in the music world. So way back in 1962, the Beatles made their London debut television performance. They appeared on a live broadcast from Wembley on Tuesday Rendezvous, which was on the ITV station Rediffusion. The Beatles performed live, doing lip-sync performances. That doesn't make sense. Live, they performed live doing lip-sync performances. So they were either live or they were lip-syncing. Anyway, maybe they were a bit of both. Of Love Me Do and a 45 seconds of P.S. I Love You. So that's what was going on in 1962. In 1964 on this day, again the Beatles were in the news again. They released their album. Can you guess which one it is? It's their 4th album. Are you a Beatles fan? Do you know which one that is? That's right, Beatles for Sale. The album featured No Reply, I'm a Loser, Babies in Black, rock and roll music, I'll Follow the Sun, beautiful track, Mr. Moonlight, Kansas City, Hey 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 Hey, 8 Days a Week, Words of Love, Honey Don't, Every Little Thing, I Don't Want to Spoil the Party, What You're Doing, and Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. And it spent a massive 11 weeks at #1. They really were on fire at that point, weren't they? And also we'll say happy birthday to Jay-Z. He is 51 today. Now, he married Beyonce way back in 2008, and the couple reportedly have a combined value of $1.6 billion. That's a lot of money. That'll be a big birthday cake, you can bet. And in 1976, which was 3 years after I was born, on December the 4th, I wasn't born on December the 4th, but anyway, I was born in 1973. December the 4th, the Sex Pistols, they workers at the EMI Records, where they were signed to, went on strike, refusing to package their single, Anarchy in the UK. Well, you don't hear about that kind of stuff anymore. That's when punk really did kind of shock and stun people into striking. That's quite amazing. And if you're in a band and you're starting off obviously with the COVID stuff, you're probably not playing live, but maybe just before that, maybe you were starting off and you were having some bad gigs. Just bear in mind that all musicians, all bands started off somewhere. Even the biggest bands in the world started off somewhere playing small gigs, not many people turning up, bad equipment, failing basically. But hopefully this little story will give you some hope. Now, on this day in December, on December the 4th in 1979, a band called U2 appeared at the Hope and Anchor in Islington, London. They were actually billed, they were misnamed on the bill as the U2s, and to add insult to injury, only 9 people turned up to see their gig, which ended very abruptly when the Edge's string broke. So there you go. He was living on the edge there, as he didn't have any spare strings. Now what kind of guitarist is that? So you can imagine there, turning up to see the U2s. Oh no, we've been called the U2s, we're called U2. There's only 9 people. Dang, now we can't play anymore because Edge just broke the string. Must have been a disaster. Anyway, it didn't stop them, and it shouldn't stop you when you have bad gigs like that. Just keep going, keep going, and keep going, and who knows, one day you could be as big as U2. You never know. And in 1980, on December the 4th, Prince played the first night of a 31-date Dirty Mind North American tour at Shares Buffalo, New York. 31 dates. After being told by his manager he couldn't wear spandex pants without any underwear. Of course, Prince began performing in a long trench coat, black high-heeled boots and leggings with bikini brief trunks, as you do. Now Prince could probably carry that off quite easily. He'd look good in anything, wouldn't he? He'd look good in a potato sack or in that aforementioned garb. He would look good in the trench coat with the black high-heel boots and leggings and bikini brief trunks. Anyone else trying that would look terrible. But that was all rebelling the fact that he couldn't wear spandex pants without underwear. Now, a bit suggestive, you might think, but he was that kind of artist, wasn't he? He was out to shock, and even so he did. And more recently, 2015, Justin Bieber scored his third UK #1 single on this day, December the 4th, 2015, with, can you guess which song it was? That's right, it was Love Yourself, which knocked his previous chart topper, Sorry, to #2. Now, Love Yourself was apparently written by Ed Sheeran. I don't know who Sorry was written by. The last living artists to achieve this feat were, can you see what I've done here? We're bringing it back to the beginning. The Beatles, back in 1963 with She Loves You, I Wanna Hold Your Hand. So you can say what you like about Justin Bieber, and people have said a lot about him, but his success is in that, as he was in his prime, was kind of unbettered, really, unparalleled, even by the Beatles. So there you go. That is the roundup of this week's music news. As I said, it's been a bit of a slow news week, but I hope that's been a bit entertaining for you. If you've got any suggestions for more live streams, then please hit the comments down below. Please like, comment and share, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button, because we do videos, two videos every week. We do a live on Friday, or if it's like this, pre-recorded, just a bit of fun, a bit of a roundup of the week's music news. And on Monday we do something a bit more in depth. So check it out. There's always videos coming out every 2 weeks, maybe even more. Sorry, 2 every week rather. Be safe, be prosperous. See you on the next one.